If a police officer asks you about drinking, drugs, or guns, your answer could be the difference between going home or going to jail. And most people get it wrong. Here's exactly what to say. Police officers are trained to ask the same 3 questions every single time they pull somebody over. Have you been drinking? Any drugs in the vehicle? Any firearms in the vehicle? Most people think they can talk their way out of this. But the truth is, the more you say, the more you risk hurting yourself. I'm attorney Marc Lopez, and today I'm breaking down exactly what to say and what not to say when you're faced with these questions. Why these questions matter. These 3 questions are not random. They're designed to do one thing: give police reason to escalate. Drinking can lead to DUI charges. Drugs can justify a search. Guns can raise officer safety concerns. Even if you are innocent, your words can still be twisted and taken out of context. Let's start with alcohol. The classic line is, have you been drinking tonight? A lot of people panic and they say, just 1 beer, officer. I heard that so many times you would think that bars can't even afford to exist because people are only having 1 beer. Here's the problem with giving that answer. That answer gives the officer probable cause to investigate further. Field sobriety test, breath test, maybe even an arrest. So what should you say instead? A simple, I plead the 5th. That's polite, it's firm, and it keeps you from volunteering evidence against yourself. The reality is, if an officer pulls you over, leans into your vehicle, and asks you if you've been drinking tonight, he probably smells alcohol, and you're probably going to get out of that car and do some field sobriety tests. You got to check your own state laws and whether or not you should or should not do field sobriety tests. Some states like Indiana, there's no penalty. Other states do have penalties for not doing field tests. But if the officer asks you if you've been drinking, he probably smells it. Now, what happens if you pass those field sobriety tests, but then you tell the officer you drank earlier? Well, guess what? You can go down there and do a breath test or a blood test. Whereas if you say, I plead the 5th, there's less evidence to be used against you in a DUI investigation. Just keep that in mind. There's no benefit to you admitting to a police officer you've been drinking, even just 1 beer. Next up, officers might ask, do you have anything illegal in the car? Any drugs, marijuana? Even if you're completely clean, saying no, never, doesn't always protect you. If they find something later, even if it's not yours, you've just given them a false statement to use against you in court. Now think about that. Do you know for sure every single thing in your car? Have you ever given a ride to somebody? Anybody ever have something fall out of their pocket when they're giving a ride? I have. I've lost things in Ubers. The reality is we do not know every single thing in our car. It's impossible to know every single thing in our car because we have passengers in our vehicle. Have you ever had a valet? Have you ever given your keys to somebody at a restaurant? Come on, you have no idea what's in your vehicle. And if you say, no, nothing illegal, it's impossible for you to know. And they can use that statement against you if it's proven to be false. The safest response to the question, anything illegal in the vehicle, any drugs in the vehicle, is simply say, I plead the 5th. Now, officers might get frustrated. Why are you making it so hard for me? I'm just trying to do my job. They're trying to guilt you into answering definitively. Don't do it. Remember, you're under no obligation to admit or deny anything illegal in your vehicle. You're just not. Keep that in mind. And finally, firearms. An officer might ask you, do you have any guns in the vehicle? Now, this one gets tricky because different states have different laws. Some states, like Indiana, you do not have to say anything about guns in your vehicle. You can simply say, I plead the 5th. You probably should say, I plead the 5th. Other states do have laws. If you have a firearm permit, well, if an officer asks you if you have any firearms on you, then you have to tell the truth. Yes, I do have a firearm on me. It's part of my license and I'm legally allowed to carry it. That's one way of answering. Some states take it a bit further and they say you have to volunteer to the police officer even if he doesn't ask. So knock, knock, license, registration. Officer, I want to let you know I do have a firearm on me and I'm telling you that because I have to under state law. So you have to research the state you're in and the obligations you have when you're carrying a firearm. You don't want to answer inappropriately or give up too much information, but you also do not want to jeopardize your right to have that firearm legally in the future. Remember, admitting you have a firearm can escalate that encounter. Officers immediately go on high alert when they know a person they've stopped or investigating has a firearm. And on the same token, denying possession of a firearm, if a gun is later discovered, creates more problems. So once again, what's your safest play? If you're in a state that does not require disclosure, I plead the 5th. If you're in a state that does require disclosure if asked or upon approach, be honest. That's what I would do, and that's what I suggest you do as well. You must research your state laws. Firearm stuff can get real tricky real fast. Do you notice the pattern here? You don't have to memorize 10 different lawyer tricks. You just really need one phrase. I plead the fifth. That covers you pretty well when officers are asking you questions. It works for drinking. It works for drugs. It works for anything illegal in the vehicle. In some states, it even works for the gun. It keeps things simple and it shuts down questionings without being disrespectful. And some people say, well, Mark, it sounds disrespectful if I tell the officer I plead the fifth. There's nothing wrong or illegal about pleading the fifth. In Supreme Court justices regularly say the Fifth Amendment protects the innocent as well as the accused, perhaps the innocent even more, because they don't want to get entangled in bad circumstances or things that look kind of bad but aren't. Now, let me give you 3 common mistakes people make when answering these questions. Number 1 is over-explaining. I see this on body cams, dash cams all the time. The reality is the more you talk, the more chances you have for the officer to trip you up. We get people all the time get pulled over. Where are you coming from? St. Louis. You're driving south on I-65. That doesn't make any sense. I stopped in Chicago real quick. There's no benefit to going into detail about where you're coming from, where you're going. I plead the fifth. Don't over-explain things. It just makes more problems. And I've seen police officers put on there requesting a warrant to search the vehicle because these answers to where he was going and where he was coming from are inconsistent and just don't make sense. And I've seen judges grant warrants based on those inconsistencies. Please, just be quiet. You're not as clever as you think. Maybe you are, but you're not as clever as the officer will write in his report or the body cam will capture. Keep that in mind. Stop talking. The less you say, generally the better. Number 2, trying to joke. Humor does not protect you. It usually gives officers something to write in their report that does not look good. And this one is hard for me particularly because I love to joke. I love to make light of serious situations. I don't know why. That's just me. But we see people all the time. Anything illegal in the vehicle? Not today, officer. You should have got me yesterday. Why would anybody say that to the police? Please, humor is not appropriate at the side of the road. It's just not. Somebody is going to have a comment here. Hey, Mark, I got the officer to laugh and he didn't give me a ticket. Awesome. You're the exception. Please don't try to use humor when officers stop you. It generally does not go well. And a lot of people put on these comments when the officer asks, where are you coming from? Your mom's house. Listen, that's funny. But I don't think an officer at the side of the road who wants to be home, who's tired of his day, who wants to go home early, is going to appreciate that. So please keep the joking to a minimum. I would even say don't even joke at all, please. Number 3, volunteering extra information. This one is painful because I see it all the time. Don't say, I had a drink hours ago, or I've smoked weed in the past. That does not help you. I've also seen people say to an officer, well, I smoked weed in college, but I don't anymore. Why would you say that? And here's what drives me crazy that I see more than I would ever have thought in my life. This car is not mine, so I have no idea what's in it. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you that is not a good response because just because you don't know what's in it does not beat constructive possession in most states, including Indiana. If you're driving a car with contraband, there's still a good chance they could try to say it's yours, even if you don't know what's in it because it doesn't belong to you. Stop volunteering extra information. That's information your attorney can use. Not so good for you at the side of the road. So let's recap. If asked about drinking, I plead the fifth. If asked about drugs or anything illegal in your car, I plead the fifth. If asked about guns, you got to research your state laws. If you don't have to disclose, I plead the fifth. If you do have to disclose, be honest if they ask you. Or if you have to disclose even without being asked, tell them I do have a gun in the car. You don't want to create extra problems down the road. But I can't stress enough how powerful the phrase is, I plead the fifth. It's just so powerful. That one line can protect your freedom, your record, and your future. Okay, if you've watched this far, leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel, hit that little bell so you get notifications. We do a video like every Tuesday, I think, and I love these videos. I love giving knowledge to people about their rights, and I love reading these comments. And people are giving me some legitimately laughs out of these. Right now, we're fighting against the Turtle from Entourage, Joe Pesci from My Cousin Vinny, and I think a few people are starting to say I remind them of a used car salesman. I'm fine with all 3 of those. I love these videos. Leave me a comment. If you're charged in Indiana, give us a call, 317-632-3642. We would love to talk to you about your options. Most importantly, though, remember to always plead the fifth.